Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Mafaz Jawad, and in this video I'll be demonstrating on an enterprise technical solution I've been assigned to provide as a member of IT department. Let's start. First system is Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2013, a customer relationship management and enterprise resource planning software package. The purpose of using this system is to keep track of all the activities going inside the organization and externally. Second system is SharePoint 2013, collaboration and document management tool. SharePoint is used to provide cooperation among the organization, as it allows them to schedule, plan, work on projects from a web-based platform. The diagram displayed represents the network infrastructure used to implement our technical solution. Our network is designed to centralize resources and allow transferring of data between servers. Now let's start with the first step. We start with the ADDS server and add ADDS and DNS role. After we are done, we prompt the server to a domain controller and create a new forest for our domain, mafaz.com. Second step is to open Computers Wizards and add our domain users. After we are done, we open HVM, change the IP address and domain to join it to our network. HVM will have to restart to save the changes. For installing SQL, we first add the required feature, .NET Framework 3.5. After it's installed, we go back to the ADDS server and add a new organizational unit, service accounts, and add a user in it that will manage SQL services. We can now run the installation file for Microsoft SQL 2012. We accept the terms and click Next. Skip the updates and click Next. We're going to choose all SQL features as default. We're also going to leave the SQL name as it is. Specify our username as an admin. Choose to install and configure the reporting services right after the installation. One last thing we're going to do after the installation of SQL is to open the Management Studio, create new logins for CRM and SharePoint, and assign both users as system admins to allow them to create databases. Now let's head to our first system. CRM hardware requirements are the following, but we assigned better hardware for better performance. Software components are IIS that is used to provide web-based platform for the system, SQL Server for storage, .NET 3.5 framework and Windows authentication as required features. We start by adding required roles and features to the server. For initializing installation, we go back to SQL and copy the database server name and copy it to the CRM installation wizard. We then specify the OU where the CRM service accounts are saved. For the next step, we'll need to go back to the service accounts OU and the ADDS server and create a user account for each CRM service. Then, we copy the domain account's name to the wizard. We then specify the URL used to access CRM, name, currency, and other settings for our CRM system. And it's ready. Dynamics 2013 has an efficient layout and design. For example, admins can control most of the system features and permissions through the web platform, instead of having to do these tasks from the server. This design that distinguishes Dynamics from other ERP systems provides easy navigation for users to easily create and display their different records or log their activities. As you can see, we can create appointments, send emails, make phone calls, or list our tasks from the same drop-down menu. We also have social pane that can be created for each record, where the users can post latest news regarding a project and communicate with their colleagues. Last feature is the collateral services. These are services provided for the company to highlight their objectives and goals. This can be useful for a company to keep on track to eventually reach their goals. For example, we added goal metrics that can define our company objectives, from revenue, number of sales, and so on. Now moving on to our second system, SharePoint. Our server was configured with the following minimum hardware requirements. As for the software components, SharePoint has a long list of requirements that we will explain as we install. Instead of performing the installation for roles and features via their graphical interface, we will copy the code available from SharePoint official website to install them via PowerShell. After we're done, the server will restart. We also downloaded the list of software components from SharePoint website. These files are small in size and only require us to run them. Microsoft Identity Extension and Active Directory Rights Management are used to enforce and guarantee access permissions for users. SQL Native Client is a sandbox program used for complying C# in the browser. Microsoft Sync Framework is a synchronization platform that enables collaboration for offline or on-premise servers. WCF Data Services enables data consumption over an intranet. One last critical component is App Fabric that we will run through the PowerShell by changing our directory to the folder location and running it from there. One last thing we're gonna do is install an update for App Fabric. And now we can finally run the SharePoint installation file. We first add our product key, accept the system terms. Since we already have an SQL server, we will choose to install a complete SharePoint server. We will choose to connect to an existing server farm and then point to our SQL server. We then can specify a passphrase used to encrypt our data. Here we can configure SharePoint Central Administration Web Application. We check our configuration one last time and install. Now our system is up and running. What makes SharePoint stand out against its peers is the features built in it that enforces reliability. First feature we're going to discuss is the site collection. SharePoint website can be used for an organization as a whole, but it also allows administrators to create sub-websites that they can assign for a specific group of users only to let them focus on their scope of work. These sites can be a team site, a developer site, project site, or a blog and a community site for socializing. The second is the monitoring feature. This feature can be used by SharePoint admins to troubleshoot and solve problems of the system. This feature saves time as it is configured to report any possible problem in the system. Plus, it also suggests a solution when possible. Last feature to discuss is the backup feature. SharePoint prompts users to specify number of threads that represents number of data backups for the SharePoint to fall back to in the occasion of a server failure. You can specify these backups to be in a different location than the original data to improve availability. If you have a large database and some information are not as important, you can exclusively choose what data to back up. Now that both systems are up, we can finally start with integration. Documents and reports stored in SharePoint can be directly based on customers' business activity records from Dynamics. Integration between data and SharePoint and Dynamics ERP system will allow synchronization of information and up-to-date information in both platforms. Before attempting the integration, we will make sure that SharePoint can be accessed from CRM server by copying the URL. First step to achieve our integration is to upload CRM components list solution to our SharePoint website. We then check our solution management webpage to make sure our solution was uploaded. You can see that the solution was successfully uploaded, but it's yet to be deployed. We can do so by the following command. We refresh our solution management page after running the command, and the solution is now deployed to our SharePoint website. Although the solution is now deployed to our website, it's still not activated for us to use. And so again, we will open SharePoint PowerShell and run the command to activate it as the following. And so we go back to our web page and refresh it to see the CRM components list solution is activated on our SharePoint. And now that we are done with implementing the solution on SharePoint side, we can head back to CRM and navigate to our document management web page. The steps for this part is very simple. We just open document management settings, specify the records we would like to base documents on, and most importantly, copy the link to our SharePoint website. Since SharePoint has a different folder structure than Dynamics, we will create a new entity that represents a new folder structure for our Dynamics records documents on SharePoint. And to show a working solution of our integration, we will open one of our company's records from Dynamics and base a document on it via SharePoint. To do so, we open documents from the drop menu found inside our record. A pop-up window will show up giving us the URL for our document's location. And now we will upload the text file we created earlier for this company to test our solution. And our document has been successfully uploaded. To make sure that it's also available on SharePoint website, we click Document's default site hyperlink. And there you go. Our document is now available on 2 systems, thus proving our data integration solution that provides connectivity and data synchronization between the 2 systems. And that's it for my first part of the project. Thank you for watching.